As a matter of fact, I have clearly seen number of countries, developed countries, even developed countries, are making use of think tank companies. What are these think tank companies? This is where the all intellects are working. Doctors, professors, engineers, policy planners, that is where all of them are working. And the government, whoever it is, it could be a bureaucrat, it could be a politician, whoever it is, assign tasks to these think tank companies. For example, as I said earlier, if the government is planning to build a school in a certain location, and then they assign that task to these think tank companies and ask to prepare a feasibility study report, and and it defines whole bunch of criteria. And for example, the cost and the repercussions and what kind of impact it will have on the society. So these people are actually thinking about it day in and day out. And how these think tank companies operate, they have only very few permanent members, either 5 or 6. But these think tank companies, depending on the task they get from the government, they assign or they employ individual people. When they employ individual people, they don't necessarily employ only the countrymen. They employ even people from other countries. Whoever has an expert idea or expertise on that subject will be employed. And then they make use of these people and get the best idea and the best report out to the government agent. So if think tank company number 1 provides a report, think tank company 2 provides a report, whatever the number of think tank companies this government agent or bureaucrat hired will provide number of reports. So what is the task the government guy has? It's only for him to select which think tank company has provided a credible couple of reports, and then select them, and then with their recommendation put it to the council or maybe to the parliament, and the parliament debates, and then it goes through the public consultation process, and then it gets to the methods. For example, any policy, once you design a policy, the second most important the item is the methods. In order to achieve the intended results of that policy, what kind of methods should be adopted, and what kind of methods and means are required, what kind of procedures are required. That's a detailed analysis, detailed consideration should be made. Otherwise you will never ever achieve the intended results. And after that, the implementation process. So this is exactly the system that should work. Unfortunately, this is not happening in Sri Lanka, and we all know that it's not happening. And we know there are no think tank companies. There are think tank companies to talk about the politics. There are think tank companies to talk about the human rights and all kind of other things. But there are no think tank companies for engineering and medicine and various other development tasks. When it comes to development tasks, you don't have think tank companies. All what they have currently are some sort of like government salarymen, like they're like old style salarymen having some degrees and something like that, and they are government employees in certain ministries, and they prepare these reports. Unfortunately, those reports are just utterly useless. And I have seen one such report. That is the report prepared by this government outlining the Vision 2025. And we can talk about that later. It's old thinking. They have not thought about anything. It's old thinking. And that is why we need proper think tank company process to be implemented in Sri Lanka, and then only we can see some of these ideas that will be funneled through these companies and get implemented successfully. And then once it is implemented, continuously that process should be assessed. It should be assessed, and if you need to make some changes, you need to make certain changes and then go forward. And exactly, people are talking about Lee Kuan Yew. People are talking about Lee Kuan Yew in a big way, but unfortunately, nobody has ever understood what Lee Kuan Yew did and how many think tank companies he hired, not only from Singapore, but even from foreign countries. And there were people who are working from foreign countries for Lee Kuan Yew. And that is how all these companies are operating in Canada, America, everywhere, all these think tank companies. And you should not expect them to come and work for you cheaper. Like they will not be cheap. Absolutely. You should pay whatever it is, like the right amount to these companies to get the work done because their ideas are very important and you should deliberate and think about it. And a lot of people still think, okay, these are capitalist economies, these are socialist economies. That is bullshit. Okay, that is bullshit because we cannot see a country right now that can be divided in a line, say, okay, this is a capitalist country, this is a socialist country. There's no such thing anymore. The line is blurred. That means like these developed countries have taken so many policies, even from socialist countries, that are benefited to their country. And and the socialist countries, like for example China, have taken so many capitalist policies and working towards their own benefit. So if somebody thinks that we should go through party lines only, and if somebody from another country, say a capitalist country, is suggesting something, or we should just reject it, I'm sorry that I'm not with him. So what we need to do right now, we are trying to make a movement here because this is not going to happen. We already have spent half of our life and we have seen that people are just describing the problem only. They're just describing only. They're not explaining very well what solutions need to be done, need to be implemented. So what we have decided right now is to create a sort of a movement and an awareness campaign, and also to get actively involved to bring some good people to the parliament, because we know our people, the people that we suggest, will never get nominations from a party. And because of that, we as a movement, we as people should support these people to come to parliament and then somehow cross over to these political parties. That's fine. It is not absolutely like a um, sort of a backstabbing or anything, but somehow get absorbed to get the membership of these major parties: Sri Lanka Freedom Party, UNP, JVP, because they are not giving nominations unless they are currently members. So we need to get them to the parliament and cross over, because we still think, I'm a very pragmatic person, and I still think only these couple of parties will still govern Sri Lanka for years to come. And that's my prediction. And so because of that, we should support the people, we should support a movement to bring more and more people to the parliament. And already there are discussions underway with multiple parties, like educational, like highly educated intellects from Sri Lanka. Unfortunately, it's only from Sri Lanka right now, but we are hoping in the future to bring even the guys from outside who have gone and worked outside, and somehow to get involved. So my plea to everybody who are watching this and our movement is to join and contribute. And if you are somebody who has worked outside and you can contribute on a particular subject, please contribute. And if you are somebody in Sri Lanka and having experience on certain subjects and on certain people that you think are good, and suggest them, and we encourage them to continue and get engaged with the political process. දේශපාලනය කියන්නේ එහෙමයි. දේශපාලනය කියන්නේ අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්න හොඳ නැහැ එක මයිටි මෑන් කෙනෙක්, එක මේ විශේෂඥ දැනුමක් තියෙන හැම එක මිනිහෙක් ඉන්නවා කියලා. එහෙම එක මිනිහෙක් ඉඳලා කරන දේවල් කවදාවත් කරන්න බෑ. කොයි රටකවත් එහෙම වෙන්නේ නැහැ. එක මිනිහෙක් ඕන charismatic leader කෙනෙක්. හැබැයි ඒ leader වටේට ඉන්න ඕන මේ වගේ විශාල දැනුමක් තියෙන අය. ඒ leader mentally open වෙන්නට ඕන මේ වගේ විශාල දැනුමක් තියෙන අයව ප්‍රයෝජනෙට ගන්න. එහෙම නැත්නම් මේ වගේ රටක් හදන්න බෑ. ඒකට ඒ මූවමන්ට් එකට දායක වෙන්න කියලා අපි සෑම කෙනාගෙන්ම ඉල්ලනවා. ඊළඟට මේ පහත වීඩියෝ බලන්න අපි මේ කතා කරන දේවල්. ඒ කතා කරන දේවල් වලින් ඔයාලට තේරෙයි මොකක්ද මේ කියන්නේ කියලා ඒවල. අපි සොලියුෂන් අපි උදාහරණයකට පොලිසි මේකර්ස්ලා හැටියට අපි සොලියුෂන්ස් ප්‍රොවයිඩ් කරන්නේ. ඒ සොලියුෂන්ස් ඩිස්කස් කිරීම වෙනම දෙයක්. හැබැයි එහෙම තමයි රටක් ගෙනියන්න වෙන්නේ. ඒකින්ද මේ think tanks විදිහට මේ විදිහට ගවර්නින් සිස්ටම් එක චේන්ජ් කරගන්න උදව් කරන්න අපිට ඕන කරන මිනිස්සුන්ව පාර්ලිමේන්තු එකට ගේන්න උදව් කරන්න. ඔයාලට කිසි දෙයක් කරන්න නෑ සෝෂල් මීඩියා එකෙන් මේ වීඩියෝ එක ෆෝවර්ඩ් කරන්න. මේ වීඩියෝ එක බලන්න ෆෝවර්ඩ් කරන්න. හැකිතාක් දුරට ෆෝවර්ඩ් කරන්න. සබ්ස්ක්‍රයිබ් වෙන්න. අපි ඉන්ඩිපෙන්ඩන්ස් මූවමන්ට් එක හැටියට ඒක පක්ෂ මොහක්වත් පාටි එකක් මොහක්වත් නෙමෙයි කොහෙවත්. නමුත් අපි කියන්නේ ඉන්ඩිවිජුවල් හරි මිනිස්සුන්ව ගේන්න මේකට උදව් කරන්න. ඒක තමයි අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන දේ. ස්තුතියි.